a Hornby MGR for £3.64? Surely not. They're making £12 plus on eBay. And yes, I did buy it from eBay. The trick was, I did buy all of these for £21.88, including the postage, which makes them at £3.64. If you take away the postage, they're actually cheaper. But obviously we can't get away with free postage. Now, obviously I didn't buy the entire lot with the purpose of just achieving a cheap MGR. Although I could resell these, and probably some I will. I may hold on to something like that. Not for myself, but you never know. The grandson might be interested in trains at a later stage in his life. I think he's only about 5 months old at the minute, but we might be able to coerce him into the model railway world. Anyway, some not so cheap wagons coming up, although they were cheaper than they normally are. Hopefully it won't be for a bad reason. Let's have a look. Well, that's the packaging. There's quite a bit. Plastic wrap, polystyrene, cardboard outer box, then the packaging. There is a small little envelope there which I think may contain the grab irons or handles detailing. As you can see, it's Walthers. I've had to put it on a track because I've managed to get a pair of Autoracks, which as you can see, they're on a Pico flexi track length, which is 1 yard, and my phone is the buffer stop there just to check the right, a little bit of resistance, but they are branded BNSF ones, but beggars can't be choosers. And if you watch any sort of rail fanning, you do tend to find that they're all mixed now anyway, regardless of who originally leased them and had their logos on them. But I got them with a Rails of Sheffield eBay 15% deal. They were advertised at 59 quid, which is cheap for these. I've never seen them below 79, 89 pounds a pair. And ironically, they have an identical set on there of another pair of Walthers. The only difference being that they're marked up as Norfolk and Southern logo, and they want £89 for them. But there is absolutely no recorded difference in condition over these. I can't find anything wrong with these ones. So I don't know why. They've got a pair of Atlas ones which are the same money, and they had a pair of Walthers. This one was 59, everything else is 89, and I do not know where the difference in price comes. I mean, if they'd had the Norfolk and Southern ones for 59, I'd have bought them, but I'm certainly not paying £80–90 for these. You know, I think the Atlas ones are slightly better detailed, maybe. You know, there's not a lot to these. I mean, obviously these panels are separately fitted in China on minimum wages, so I fail to see where the high cost in them goes. But yeah, they're nice. I wouldn't have paid any more, and I only bought them because they were on a deal. I wouldn't have generally have looked at them at £30 second hand. I don't know what they retail for new, but I think they're sort of up in the 90s plus for brand new. So Rails of Sheffield second hand prices are a bit ludicrous at the minute. Well, theirs always seem to be, but they're quite narrow, obviously being HO, but they did surprise me how narrow they are. But yeah, quite long. I think, what are they, about 80 foot in real life? You certainly wouldn't get a third one on a yard of track, so yeah, they'll certainly eat your space on a layout. But yeah, if I can pick them up at the right money, then I might be swayed. But the current climate, and these being slightly more modern than some of the rolling stock I can get hold of at more sensible prices. But yeah, pleased with this purchase, even though it has put a bit of a ding in the wallet. So, nighttime recording, because all of the footage I'm now about to show you I just deleted by accident trying to get rid of some old files on my camera. So here we go again. A left-hand platform enclosure for a Train Tech animated screen. Why would I have one of those? Well, a little elbow mounting thing. A smart screen. Yes, you probably saw it a little while ago on my, I think it was a short or a community post. I managed to acquire one of these for £30. I think the little mount is anywhere between £8 and £10, and the screen is, I think, about £45–50 now with the postage. I have got an Arduino kit of bits that I've purchased to attempt one day to get my head around all of that stuff, and attempt something similar. Although it's slightly modern for the 80s, 90s period I'm doing, it's my railway, I like techie stuff, so I bought one. And some more techno stuff now, technology, some of that infrared devilish work. Telltale signs of bubble wrap to save you watching me struggle with my blunt scissors. Someone advertised some model railway coloured light signals and controllers. They didn't use keywords like the manufacturer of the boards. They advertised that there were 2 working and 2 that had been sat 4 years in their spare box. So if you didn't really read the advert well, you saw a bad picture of these and not much else, and people tend to skip over a lot of the description and sort of read keywords and forget the rest. Now, the statement was there were 2 plus another 2 untested, so a lot of people didn't notice that potentially there was 4. Now, when I sort of tallied up what I was going to value it at to bid, I considered, well, if they're untested, they're worth nothing, because if they don't work, they're worth nothing. With it was also Berco signals assembled. Some of them need a little bit of TLC, but nothing too major. There was a mention that one of them had no LEDs in, but the rest were all complete in various states. Some of them have got the backs missing. But in addition to this, which was advertised, and this, and those, there was all this. Grain of wheat bulbs on LEDs, resistors. I've bagged this up because, again, obviously I'm reshooting this. Some lamp posts that were obviously ripped out of their base and the wires have been detached, but these are a bit like the ones I used to make years ago, and you use the brass lamp post as a conductor. So if I remove the wire as I have there, if you can just see it, attach a new one and pass it back through and solder another one underneath there, you've got a working lamp. I have had them all scraped the enamel and tested, and they all do still light up. There's a couple of these. One of them's a non-goer, but obviously I wasn't expecting any of this, and in it was another Berco signal head, and there was this one and another one. Now, they stated in the description that the 3 aspect was missing LEDs. It's not anymore, because I just put them in and I've been through them all. They all work. There is one, I think, somewhere in here, a 2 aspect, that's minus the back effect. Now, these look like the earlier ones that had grain of wheat bulbs and had been converted to LED. The only thing is the shoulder of the LED does mean that the LEDs sit a little bit further back in the housing. Doesn't affect the viewpoint from the signals, but it does mean the little covers that are supposed to show the back of the box do sit a little bit proud, but that's the only trade-off. Some of them need ladders gluing back. They're all still there, yeah. Some of the other minor details are missing, but nothing major you can't scratch up and make. So I've got a spearhead. Again, I tested them, they all work. The packets of LEDs all work. Grain of wheat bulbs work. They was all bonus buy. These work. And the two dubious ones, one of them had some crusty gunge all underneath here, which I assume was probably a bit of scenic glue and stuff drizzling down there. So I didn't have a 12 volt power supply that these run on, so I sort of jerry-rigged the 9 volt up and hoped it would be enough to run it, and the LED came on, so I proceeded to wire that set of lamps into the outputs, because these are 3 aspect or 4, the double yellow at the top here, and that's your common. So I wired it up and put my hand over the sensor and it all worked. Stays on for quite a while, but you can adjust that from that pot there. So that was a bonus, and I've done the same with this one, and this also works. So I now have 4 Heathcote mass sequencers, which I think they're $17.95 or 16. I think they're $17.95 each. Plus the other week I picked up those infrared detector jobbies as well. Burco signals came with it. I think there's a lot of them. Someone's asking £67 for a bunch like that, which is a bit ludicrous, but I normally go for the Train Tech ones because with a little extra tubing which I've got coming from another order, you can potentially, with the Train Tech ones, you get the plastic moulding which includes 2 aspect, 3 aspect and 4 aspect heads. Obviously you only get enough component parts to build one signal, but obviously if you've bought some ladders and you make your own base, you can make your own signal. So yeah, it was sort of a 3-for-1 offer in Train Tech, so I've sort of stopped trying to find these little kits. But I paid £37-ish for the whole thing, and you know, a pair of those would cost you that. So I think that was a good find for this this week.